Hello, it's Veronica here. I just wanted to talk about what makes Violet one of the most overlooked purple rainbow high dolls. It's funny, in every line she is in, there's always a doll that is more popular than her, or there's always a doll that people think looks cooler than her. And look at her next to the other Rainbow High Purple dolls that aren't necessarily full on Shadow High dolls. Yeah, Ainsley counts here because she has some purple in her hair, but in her hair blend. But the others, she does not stand out that much against them. Now ask yourself, what makes a doll in any Rainbow High line interesting? Like, regardless of color? The answer to this is aesthetic and style and personality. If a character has a good personality or a backstory that is relatable or a style that is interesting, you're gonna love them a lot more. Like Emmy. In the show, she has this great personality. It shows that she uses horror in her art. And just her original style, it's very alternative, but it's also very casual. And you can't help but like it. You can't help but find it interesting and unique and just different in the line she is in. And then Lila, she has so many Japanese and Chinese cultural elements that she's such a fascinating doll to look at. And Lilac, well, her style is very strictly academia. You can't say no to it. Like, I know she's wearing another doll shoes right now, but she's one of the few academia Rainbow High dolls, and that makes her interesting. And Ainsley, she is an absolute goth queen. Like, you can't say no to this girl. She is gorgeous. She is stunning. And more than anything, she is goth. Like, very distinctly goth. And this makes her so interesting. Now, compare all those aesthetics with Violet's aesthetic. So, Violet, she's very girly. She's very glamorous. And she's very pretty. Like, in every line she's in, she's very pretty, but not particularly interesting. This is because her aesthetic is a more common one. It's just a lot more common than some of the others that we brought up. And we are not going to be comparing her to any shadow high dolls with unnatural skin tones that happen to be purple, because she will not even stand up to their uniqueness. Like, she cannot compete with the Storm Twins, like how Cotton Ball Violet cannot compete with Cotton Ball Demi at all. And that is only one example of a lineup where Violet is one of the weaker dolls in. Think about any discussion you've heard regarding people's viewpoints on what dolls are the best in each Rainbow High line. Unless it's like Winter Break, it's very rare that you're going to hear that Violet is the favorite or the most popular one. While things were clearancing out, so many Fantastic Fashion Violets were just on store shelves, not even moving. They took longer to clearance out than the other Fantastic Fashion dolls. When the Costume Ball line was clearancing out, Violet was the one that was most common on the shelves. because the others were just so much more interesting than her. Now, Winter Break Violet is definitely a different story than that. Because from what I've seen, she is one of the most popular Violet dolls. Even whenever that line was released, Violet was one that a lot of people really liked. And I can totally understand why people love this doll. Her fashions that she comes with are so good and so versatile. And her face up is different from other Violet dolls. And she was one of the first Violet dolls that didn't have bangs. And her hair is just in these lovely curls. Like, I'm sure it's obvious, but she is my favorite Violet release. I love this Violet, and she will always be my top Violet doll. And she's so fun to just dress up and restyle. She looks so good in everything. And another reason why Violet may be uninteresting is her face up. A lot of the times, her makeup is more neutral than other dolls. Like, yeah, her Winter Break doll may be an exception with that icier looking makeup, but you have her other releases where her makeup is just so simple. Like, yeah, you got the purple eyeshadow, but normally her lip color definitely falls more into those neutral shades. You don't see any dramatic lip colors or really dramatic eyeshadow with her. Like, the makeup on some of the other dolls is so interesting, makes them so unique. If you just compare to the purple Rainbow High dolls, it just doesn't stand out. Like, look at Emmy and that more goth looking lip color and that lip liner. Like, Emmy's makeup is so unique. It makes her face so pretty for a purple doll. And Lila has the really nice eyeshadow and the Decora style stickers around her eyes and the little band-aid. Like, her look is very Decora inspired, and it makes her face look very distinct and different. Lilac has, I feel like her face is also on the simpler side, but she does look pretty. And then Ainsley. I know some people feel like Ainsley is not as pretty as some of the other purple dolls, but I've always loved Ainsley. She's always been one of my faves. Like, I mean, look at those striking blue eyes and the rainbow eyeshadow and the really nice lipstick color that is super versatile. She's a gorgeous doll who looks good in everything and is super versatile. And then look at Violet by comparison. She looks basic. She just looks uninteresting compared to the others. And let's get back to uniqueness with style and personality. So while the other girls I feel like may have better personalities in some ways, Violet's personality is literally being an influencer. She may be a good friend to Sunny and all that, and that may make her a little bit more likable, especially after an episode that shows a bit of their childhood and how she's into painting. That helps flesh her out just a bit, but the way she acts in the show, she's very much an influencer. She's very, very focused on her social media. And that's just kind of her thing. She's always filming something. She's always photographing something. And even like one of her big projects was just very self absorbed. It was just her filming herself for a school project. And even her history with her own roommates. It's interesting because out of the main cast, she is not the nicest member of the original 6 girls. One of her biggest mistakes is publicly posting Bella's expulsion on her like social media page. And then celebrating whenever it goes viral. And then there's like how she like lied to Sunny about like not giving her mom the form for them to share a dorm together. And Sunny's like her best friend. So Violet, out of the main girls, never got the most positive character development. She never really was the nicest in the main cast. So her personality, unless you relate to it because maybe you are an influencer or something like that, isn't the most solid compared to some of the other girls in her friend group and in Rainbow High Series 1. And now look at her style compared to her own friend group. It isn't that strong. Like, yeah, she's pretty. She's glamorous. She's the girly girl of the group. But that's about it. That's really about what you're going to get with her. Like, and in any doll line, the most interesting doll is never the pretty, girly, marketable, feminine one. It's always the ones who are a little bit more unique, a little bit more different. And Violet being that girly, feminine character with her style it makes her seem less interesting compared to her friends. It makes her seem less relatable than some of the others. Like, even, like, why do you think people love Sunny so much? Personally, Ruby and Poppy are my favorites. And Jade is another one I feel like has a few solid dolls that really stand out. But, like, for me, the weakest dolls in the main lineup have to be Violet, Skylar, and Amaya. So for Skylar, her style is just basic and doesn't stand out to me. She looks like an everyday person rather than a fun, interesting, like, fashionable character at all. And she's meant to be in fashion design too. Maybe I don't like denim, but seriously, Skylar is just such a bland representation of the whole denim look sometimes. Her clothes just aren't that interesting. They aren't even very interesting to use in restyles, in my opinion. And it's like, I just find her style boring. Amaya, like, I feel like she was forced into the main cast in such a strange way with the whole, like, replacing Bella for a bit. And it was so awkward because, like, compared to Bella, Amaya got so many more dolls than her. And it's just, it's exhausting having all these Amaya dolls and, like, Amaya releases when Bella is, like, being neglected compared to her. And with Amaya's dolls, either you love her or you hate her. Like, I feel like the most popular dolls of Amaya are her Series 1 doll that came with the hair playset and her Fantastic Fashion release. The versions with the blue hair just, I've always felt like they aren't as pretty as the white-haired versions. And I guess her her junior high is cute too, but like Amaya is one of those dolls who just feels basic. And one of the few interesting things about her is literally her hair having that hidden rainbow in it. And then she also has one most underwhelming slime dolls in the Rainbow High rebrand. And Violet's weakest dolls, with I feel like people did dislike the most, are probably her Series 1 doll and her slime dolls, interestingly enough. So her dolls in the rebrand, I know her swim doll, her swim style doll is pretty popular, but compared to that, her slime doll is just abysmal with the outfit. The outfit on her slime doll just looks like a sequin mess. It looks bad. It looks awful, and it looks like something no one would ever want to wear. Like, seriously, look up that doll. Look at that dress. Look at the little jacket thing wrapped around her waist, and this outfit just does not look good. And then compare that to her Series 1 doll, and it's like her Series 1 doll feels maybe a bit more generic than some of the other girls in the original Series 1 line. All her clothes are very girly and feminine and just. So her first outfit is literally a sequin dress with a jacket with a fur coat that is cute enough. And I guess her heels are pretty decent in that line. I don't have any issue with her heels or her socks in it. And then her second outfit is like a party dress, a lavender leather jacket, and then another pair of like strappy heels. But like, if you compare it to dolls with more unique styles, like maybe Poppy or Ruby or Sunny in Series 1, her look does not stand out next to the other girls. She feels like the girly girl, feminine character of the group that every doll line has. Like, if you've been collecting dolls for a long time, you know every doll line has that one girly, feminine, princessy character who just exists in the line and will always sell well just because they're girly and feminine and marketable. Violet, I feel like, is that character for the Rainbow High line. She's girly, she's feminine, she's pretty. But for a purple doll, she can be a little lackluster sometimes. Even if I do feel like her winter break release and her fantastic fashion releases are exceptionally solid for her character, she still ends up overshadowed by other dolls in those lines. Like, even in the fantastic fashion line, like, she's often overshadowed by dolls like Fantastic Fashion Poppy, Fantastic Fashion Jade, or like Fantastic Fashion Ruby. It's like, and then you like have her next to other dolls like Emmy, and she doesn't stand a chance. Like, I am not sure what MGA could do to make Violet more interesting, especially with the rebrand happening and them kind of simplifying her outfits a bit. I feel like if MGA wants to make Violet more interesting in future lines, make her outfits a bit more glamorous, bring back some of that glamour to her, and it will at least be interesting and in character for her. And I know I've already mentioned this before, but I feel like they need to try harder with her looks a bit. Because it's like, if the best they could do to make her look glamorous is have her in the ugliest sequin dress of all time in the rebrand, that isn't cutting it. Bring back the old Violet looks. Bring back like the stuff she would wear for her Fantastic Fashion release or her winter break release. Just please. Well, that's what I wanted to say, and I'm really sorry for this rant, but I had to say it. And I really hope that MGA, either through Violet's writing or through her dolls, could make her dolls stand out a little more and look a little more interesting compared to other purple color scheme dolls in the line. So goodbye, mysterious audience. I love you, and that was the video.